Welcome to Algae Prep Academy. Today's lesson: limits of absolute values. What is a limit? The limit is what the function approaches on the y-axis as x approaches a certain number. This means the limit as x approaches c equals L. A limit exists if and only if both the left side and right side of f of x approach the same number. Now we're going to be finding the limits of absolute value functions and piecewise functions, where we basically check if both the positive and negative sides of the functions equal to each other.
For the first example, you need to negate the absolute value of x minus 2. You then separate the function so you get two equations, negative x minus 2 and x minus 2. The reason why you split the absolute value function into piecewise function is to see the left and right hand behavior of the function. You need to do this to prove if the limit exists or not. Now the two equations would need a set domain. For negative x minus 2, the domain would be x is less than or equal to 2. And for x minus 2, it would be x is greater than 2. Notice that x is greater than, less than, and equal to 2. That is because if you plug in 2 to the equation of f of x equals absolute value of x minus 2, you get 0. Next, you find the limit from the negative and positive side. Check the limit as x approaches 2 from positive side, and check the limit as x approaches 2 from the negative side using the second equation. Since 0 equals 0, the limit as x approaches 2 of f of x equals 0, and therefore the limit exists.
Find the limit of f of x as x approaches negative 1, where f of x equals the absolute value of x plus 1 over x plus 1. First, separate the equation into two piecewise equations in order to find the behavior of the function. The first equation is negative x plus 1 over x plus 1, where x is less than negative 1, and the second equation is x plus 1 over x plus 1, where x is greater than negative 1. The reason that the domain is not equal to negative 1 is because if negative 1 is plugged into the equation, the function is undefined. The next step is to determine whether or not the two sides of the function are equal and have the same limit. Because the equations are not equal, the limits are not the same. Therefore, the limit of f of x does not exist. This can also be determined graphically. Because in the graph, you cannot have a single point to close up the function, the limit does not exist.
For example 3, fx equals 18 minus 2x when x is less than 4, and square root x minus 4 when x is greater than 4. Find the limit of fx as x approaches 4. The equations of fx have to be continuous, so square root x minus 4 is continuous because radicals are continuous. Because the two equations have different domains, we must check if the limit of the two equations are the same in order for the limit as x approaches 4 to exist. As you can see, they approach different limits, and therefore the limit of fx as x approaches 4 does not exist.
Thanks for watching.
Dory.
Diffusion. Written by Celine.